got the 440 race brace in here. Basically just put that in there so if I got a frontal impact, at least I know that the nun's going to bend. The nun being this part here. I want this to bend before the actual tunnel or the frame of the machine, since it's a lot harder to replace anything here or anything back here. It's hard to straighten out, especially if it bends inwards. Sometimes, some scenarios, you gotta even pull the motor out. So, we want to avoid doing that. So, it's a good idea to have that brace on there. It does strengthen it up quite a bit. This is a standard piece of metal that goes in there. See, it's just thin aluminum. You look at this. It's got a channel in the middle too, so it's quite a bit stiffer than this. So, recommend replacing that if you can. It's a lot better. Another thing I forgot to show you is all the bushings in the A-arms. I replaced the plastic with self-lubricating brass bushings in there. So all them, it's really tight now. Before there was a lot of slop in these A-arms. You'd hit the throttle and you could see the A-arms moving back and forth because there's so much play in there. Now it's absolutely tight, and no complaints with that. It was worth every penny on that one. I think I got that off of eBay. So definitely, if you're in there and you're taking these A-arms off, it's a good idea to replace those bushings. They go really quickly. So anyways, now did a couple mods in here. I call this the shovel mod. Now, I didn't get this from anywhere online. I kind of just figured this out on my own, but it actually works really good. That's basically the where the spare belt usually goes. That's actually the clip, and you can see where it was originally mounted right here. So all I did was just move it over there and tapped a hole and bolted it here. It works great. Put a little foam there for the shovel, to the edge of the shovel to rest on. Works really slick actually, and just kind of snaps in there really good. It's really tight. Doesn't move around when you're riding and stuff. I thought there'd be a problem with cooling, but a lot of the cooling comes from the rear heat exchanger, so no problems there. It actually deflects a little bit of the snow dust that comes in there from not going straight onto the motor, but I don't know if that really makes much of a difference. But yeah, last time we went out, heck, I think I used that thing 2 or 3 times. Getting other sleds out, and just a good thing to have, especially if you're by yourself. If you're by yourself and you get stuck, you haven't got a way to pull yourself out. It's nice to know that you can, shovel a track out or make it so you can roll the machine over or stuff like that. So anyway, you're probably wondering where we put the handles, but I put the handle back here, and the spare belt. Spare belt fits in there. Got a little first aid kit in there, handles. Also got some tools in there, a 10mm wrench, clutch puller. So anyway, yeah, I like having that, so that's that. Another thing I did, and I got this from Louis Skibo from Power Mods. Grinded down the spindles, put the spacer in here. just to narrow up the ski stance. I think it's nearly 2 inches narrower by doing this simple mod. Now if you look at, you can tell how wide that looks there. If you look at, this is what it looks like stock. You can see how it kind of bells out at the bottom. So you basically just kind of grind that edge off on either side. You can use a hacksaw to get most of it off and then kind of finish it up with the grinding wheel. That's how I did that. Doesn't take very long, pretty easy to do. Yeah, free mod, pretty much free. I mean, the spacers are only $10 at BRP, and I believe the spacers I ordered were from a 2012 Renegade Backcountry, and that works just perfect. You kind of just got to take your time with it when you're grinding. You know, grind a little bit, dry fit it, see how much more, and just keep doing that until you get it perfect. I mean, a little time consuming, but in the end, you know what? I notice a fair considerable difference in how it handles, especially trying to get the machine on its side in the powder. Put on these mountain skis. They work great. Just a single carbide ski rather than the dual carbide. Revalve the shocks. Got shock covers on there. Can't really see it, but revalve the shocks, a lot stiffer. And repowder coated the A-arms. Got them all looking like new again. Did the same thing with the exhaust too. Forgot to show you that while I was in there. Now the only issue I have, and I'm probably not going to fix it right away, probably going to wait until it gets worse, but if you take note as to how far this sway bar sticks past here, if you look at the other side, you can tell it sticks past quite a bit more. So there was an impact. The nun is bent. If you run your hands along here, and this is a good way to check if your nun is bent. Just kind of feel along here if you feel any little bends or creases or bumps. You can feel whether the nun is bent, which is, you know, if you're going to buy a sled, you want to look at that, because the nun is about $350 to $400, I think, to replace, and it takes a pile of work to get in and out. I've done it before. There's a lot of rivets in there and just a bunch of crap. It just takes a while, but I mean, it can be done. So I'm waiting until I actually crash it real good. You know, once I bend it back 6 inches or something like that, then I might replace it. But until then, I'm gonna leave it the way it is. So the A-arms aren't bent. Everything else is straight. The shocks don't contact the A-arms in any way when going through the travel. So everything like that is great.